Stepped on the scene, dripped in saline. Whole crew shining, call me Mr. Clean. Came in from the back, walked right to the front. Dancing to the music, smoking on the. Got the women smiling, punk grilling me, looking all dusty. Black Force energy, I don't even drink, but the team pop bottles. Not here for the beef, but the Glock holds hollows. Think I'm cocky, but I think I'm worse. In this flexing like a Mr. Universe.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Bros. I'm Caden. I'm here with my co-host.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Commissioner, a.k.a. Trill Dollar Bill.
What's good? This is G.
And it's the boy. I lose my voice. Wow, that's crazy. It's
the
the
boy or your boy? You need some water, sir.
He sound like the dude from House Party. They're always effing with us. They're always effing with us. Yo, I want to give a shout out to Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes for shocking the world and beating TCU in Coach Prime's first game in Power 5 football. Salute. And salute to Shador and salute to Travis Hunter. Brothers was on fire. All right. The first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Chris Eubank Jr. gets his revenge over Liam Beefy Smith with a nice stoppage. I'm going to turn it over to Trill Dollar Bill. What was your reaction to that fight?
I took some notes. It's like it seemed, I said Smith seemed overconfident at first, coming in only looking to land the right hand. He looked every bit of an old 35 sharp one fighter. But he said it was the weight coming back from surgery, and we can definitely see it because he looked flat. But Liverpool stand up. Liam Smith is still a dog. He didn't quit. He wanted to go out on his shield like a true warrior. I was kind of mad. I thought he earned a little more time. He was dipping and weaving shots, but the ref is in there and has a better look on things. But as you can see, Beefy didn't want to quit. You know, he still wanted to fight. Junior looked more compact. You can see Bo Max training in this fight, the way he kept his hands up and pumped the jab and was defensively sound for the most part, better than I've seen him. He was sharp in there and with the uppercuts and the shots to the body. So, you know, it looked good. It looked good in there. Shout out to Bo Max.
All right, G.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it a little differently. I thought Smith was horrible. You know what I mean? Like Liam, to me, and I kind of understood the strategy. The approach was like, Chris pretty much wear himself out, just keep a high guard and try to counter. But every round, it was literally just a one-sided fight. So it was just pretty much a dominant performance by Chris. But it wasn't like it was an impressive performance by Chris. It's just Liam was just that bad, And so, like, I do agree that the ref shouldn't have ended the fight the way it did. However, if Liam isn't showing that he's doing anything, the ref's probably like, all right, bro, this clearly must be something wrong with you. Yo, the fight's over. You know what I mean? He probably wanted to go home and watch some television or something because he's like, yo, what's going on here? Like, literally every round is just Chris throwing combinations. Liam's just blocking, getting hit, blocking, getting hit. He's not really doing much. And it's just like, all right, bro. I was wanting to even really train for this fight, like even his corners telling him, like, all right, you got to step it up. You got to step it up. Like, come on, what you doing? And he goes out, still getting dominated. So I was like, all right, this is, to me, it's like, it's just so strange because the first fight, it makes you wonder now, it's like, all right, that was just a lucky punch, because his second performance was disgusting. It was like despicable, but I wasn't really impressed with Chris's performance, to be honest. Like, now I think about it, Chris should have got him out of there earlier, because Liam was he just was like a punching bag at that point, So I don't know, but salute to both gentlemen, man. But yeah, it was, I wasn't really impressed by either performance, but I'm going to say this. One thing that I do appreciate about Chris, what Eubank did this go around versus the second one. I mean, versus the first fight. In the first fight, he was extremely cocky, and he got caught for being cocky. This fight, there was no cockiness. Like once the bell rang, all that cockiness was out the out the window. It was like he was cocky when he entered the ring, but once the referee started the fight, he went to being a disciplined fighter, a sound fighter. So I think that's a major improvement. But other than that, man, it was just like, the performance was subpar.
All right, Dollar Bill, you had your hand up.
Oh, no, I was just answering G's question because you said it looked like he didn't even train for this fight. And I don't know if you heard me when I said that. He also said that he didn't really train for this fight. It was so much of losing the weight. He spent the camp losing the weight because he had surgery.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the surgery and with that, and it's been that's why he looked flat in there.
All right, TBE.
Yeah, I'm sorry, fellas, but I didn't get to watch this fight.
That's you heard what he said. It wasn't big enough to make the TBE's radar. I did watch the fight. So my few takeaways from the fight is this, right? I think if you remember Chris Eubank Jr., as G pointed out, in the build-up to the first fight, he didn't really seem like he was taking it seriously. He really didn't seem like he had respect for Liam Smith. He was saying like he's a piece of meat and he can saute him any way he wants. Pause, not my words, but his words. And there were all types of jokes and banter that they went back and forth with. Some people felt like it crossed the line, some didn't. We don't need to rehash that. But my point is, it wasn't really serious. Like Chris Eubank just seemed like, he thought it was going to be a walk in the park, and he really didn't seem like he was taking things seriously. It wasn't until he caught the L, and then you saw that he had respect for Liam. Like even in the build-up to this fight, he wasn't calling him a piece of meat. He wasn't joking around. I watched their face-to-face. And Liam did seem very confident. So this is where I don't want to hear excuses for Liam. Liam knew he had back surgery. Liam knew he had to lose 42 pounds, right? But he was still promising that he was going to knock Chris Eubank out. He was still talking like Chris Eubank didn't have a chance. Now, I get it. You got to promote the fight. But he was still talking like it's easy work. And the difference in this fight was it was actually Eubank Jr. who was being humble, who was just like, okay, like you're going to see the difference. And he was like, oh, you got to go get Bo Mack. And you had to go. I don't need all that. You mean the same guys, and I'm going to pummel you. But it turns out that Bo Mack actually was the difference. We talked about this all the time. These guys trying to fight like Roy Jones, give it up. There's only going to be one Roy who was superior, like athletically, to everyone he was in the ring with. And as soon as he lost a step, people started catching him. Tarver caught him. The Road Warrior Glenn Johnson caught him. And then after that, the floodgates were open. It was like it was you were most likely going to catch Roy. So to act like Roy was some tactician, I don't understand. Like you'd be better off going to B-Hop. Instead of contacting Roy, I would contact B-Hop. B-Hop, a man who was so technically sound, he was still cooking dudes in his late 40s. Not mediocre talent. He was fighting champions, the oldest champion for his division. So I would go holler at B-Hop. Rest in peace. Brother Nassim is gone, but Brother Nassim, was one of the best trainers in the game. He was B-Hop's trainer. If you're looking for that type of wisdom, I would holler at B-Hop. But Roy Jones was just a better athlete. That's like going to Roy Jones and that's like going to Roy Jones and trying to emulate the way Roy Jones played, but you're not as fast. You don't have the reaction time. You don't have the reach. You know what I mean? You're never going to be Roy. So what Bo Mack did, his balance looked better. His punch selection was better. His technique was better. He wasn't bringing his head too low. He wasn't in there looking like a chicken. And it all worked. It worked. The only thing I would say that got me worried about Eubank Jr. was he was throwing a lot of punches when he had Liam hurt. And I thought, he may gas himself out, but his tank was still good. So Bo Mack did make the difference. And Eubank Jr., I'm going to close by saying this. Salute to Eubank Jr. because I thought he was going to be a spoiled brat who folded and who got beat down. But what he actually showed was in the moment when his back was against the wall and his career was on the line, he actually cared about boxing. And I think it took this situation to wake him up and make him realize, like, yo, I really care about the sport. Like I said several times on the show, sometimes you don't appreciate life until you almost lose it. Sometimes that's when you realize, like, yo, I really need to change the things that I've been doing, you know? And I think that's what happened with Chris Eubank Jr. So salute to Chris. He made the changes, and now he's back in the race.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We're just getting started. We're the Boxing Bros.
I feel it in my soul.
Can you
Gotta
feel
get
me?
my money right. Became so cold in my cell, all them lonely nights. Stay